Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Yahweh Rakar Kadash. Um, yeah, funny little article here on the Jerusalem Post that says the state of Israel's already tested a digital shekel cryptocurrency. It's funny as hell because really shows like with Jesus. Shows with these cryptocurrencies. Well, also show the state of Israel. Them guys are pushing out every agenda swiftly, man. They I think were I don't even maybe they weren't second. They were relatively quick after the UK to push out the vaccine, and they've gone the whole hog. They've pushed out the vaccine passports as well, mad quick. Um, see other but yeah, now it's the digital cryptocurrency, which it's coming up from more and more countries. It shows the way the wind's blowing, and it's like with China getting the leg up, that's really what's putting the fire to everyone else's arse to kind of get into it, because they're like, I think I got the believers on this channel as well. I did the video before, but China's what the test that they did with with their crypto, um like that shit can basically create like it can force people into using it, and it can, and then once they're kind of in the ecosystem, like if people convert the money into crypto one, then it's like they can play with the money. They can do various things. They can time limit it. They can have it only usable on certain things. And it's like if it becomes any form of a standard around the world, they'll have like a massive amount of control. So that's why other countries are accelerating when they're saying like, oh shit, this is how deep it is. And as well with Bitcoin and crypto blowing up over the course of the year in general anyway, for like the last few years, it's kind of been multiplying on itself, growing greatly. Everyone's trying to jump in, and people have been getting uh robbed blind by a lot of this crypto. People going into it with no knowledge, no understanding of what's going on, and just getting robbed blind. So they're saying regulation seems like it's on the way as well. And then that's that regulation, even with crypto, is with Bitcoin. I think the majority of miners were until recently in China. Well, I think they kicked them out before as well. There's a couple times they've just kicked them out, but it's like in China, um, was the main spot where was where mining was being done. So it's now shifted, I think, to like Southeast Asia. Has taken over. But yeah, it's yeah, it's everyone else is looking to jump in on it and essentially take it over, and it's really you know it's the elites are going to utilize these systems. It's normalizing it, getting people to accept it, and then bring it in piece by piece. That's why it's like because you had like a while back the Facebook like Libra coin was just gonna jump straight into it, be like, hey, look, we can just do payments and blah blah blah, and create our own currency. And I was just like, it's it was a bit too much. So it's kind of getting done piecemeal. So Israel, the state of Israel had already conducted a pilot test of digital shekel cryptocurrency. Bank of Israel Deputy Governor Andrew Abir said, perhaps inadvertently, a recent conference of the Fair Value Forum of IDC Herzliya. Towards the end of the panel discussion, Abir said the Bank of Israel had already run a digital currency pilot. Another member of the panel seemed surprised and asked, "You've already issued a coin?" Abir responded in the affirmative. However, Abir said, so these men already have the coin, developed and probably just test run, had people use it more. Might have been similar to what they did in China, where they just had like certain stores where you could just go and spend it. You just give it to a bunch of people and get them to spend it. So it says, however, Abir said he was not optimistic that such a central bank currency would ever be launched. But let's see why. I'd previously estimated that the chance of having a CBDC within 5 years is 20%, Abir said. My estimate has increased a bit in the last year, mainly because other countries are advancing with it too. So the main one for that is China, because as well it's the US, maybe it was France or maybe not, and America as well mentioned it. I think there was a few more European countries, but it was a while ago when I looked at that information. Where he said, yeah, there's still less than 50% chance. So it's just under half. And the fact it's gone up anyway. It's the way things have not been slowing in the slightest. Things have been accelerating. Things have been speeding up. So it's there's easily some shit can go down. Where especially with China being ahead of the race, it's the shit they start doing. That's gonna that's gonna accelerate everyone else to jump on it and get people more interested in it. And as well, it's like if a bunch of people start fucking getting annihilated in crypto, then we'll see. Seeing as like McAfee just got fucking annihilated. That guy almost certainly got whacked. I ain't even looked into it. I'm just like, yeah. Well, I'll look into it. But yeah, it's there's been a few big. I think he was one of the guys that used to big up crypto hella, like Bitcoin mainly. But I think he used to just tweet out about all kinds of fucking different coins, just to make them blow up. So it's and that's the same thing that fuck is a nigga called Elon Musk does as well. So it's still the Wild West, which is why everyone's kind of looking and just doing like, okay, we're gonna, and that's the, getting it from the central bank, getting it as like legal tender. You can these things are leading to that mark, and that's like the groundwork's being laid in multiple areas, and that crypto digital currency is one of the main ones. So says prepare an action plan for how I could offer digital currency. Concept of issuing such a currency has been in discussion since 2017, but it decided to accelerate its research and preparation for the potential issuance in view of the rapid developments in the digital economy and in payments, and in view of the major central banks work on the issue. Yeah, so payments, digital. It's that mark is in the work, man. It's funny as well because I think for like the last year, there's been a microchip shortage. I was just like, imagine that. Like, it's funny as hell that there's like a shortage that started recently. So it's likely that they're looking to get this thing out and get this thing in, man. like Prince Philip dying, these these guys, uh, these elites, man, they're dropping, and they're looking to get this thing in, man. They're looking to get this thing in. We read this Ezekiel 20:2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Most High Power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. So yeah, with this monetary system, Esau's New World Order plans, he's trying to, take the position of the Most High and do that through carnal means, man. That's why we have his mark, that implantable chip that goes under the skin. The these things are being utilized for him to try and be like the most do what the Most High does. Have power over people, have be able to, track and see where people are and all these things. Execute judgments upon them when he should decide. You know, and that's the big part of Esau's New World Order plans, man. These New World Order plans are all about control and dominance, man, and basically him trying to glorify himself, man. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. So yeah, that money, that monetary aspect, that Esau being able to go around and grab at all form of resources and possessions. And then when you deal with the elites, these guys actually, that's what they utilize. They utilize land, they utilize precious metals, and different natural resources. These guys have control over these things. And then it's like when it comes down to the people underneath, they're using the fiat currency. That fiat, these valueless currencies that are based, well, originally were based off actual things of value, but now are just floating as they are, and that's a big part of how they keep people kind of in that loop, man. Because you with chasing them dollars, you get guys that might get to millionaire or billionaire status, and they're thinking they're them getting to that status, they're able to join among the elite. But some of these guys might do certain things or deal on certain kind of level, but really with the elites, these guys aren't even using like the same monetary system, man. These guys are holding on to the things of actual wealth, of actual value and wealth, and that's why and it's the famous quote, man. Give me power of a country's money, I care not who makes the laws. Because why? That's these guys have they have the governments, the guys at the top. These guys are following orders. These guys that are looked at as prime ministers, the presidents, the MPs, the Senate House members, all these all these different characters. These guys are doing as told, man. These guys have been given marching orders, which they execute. The elites at the top, they're the ones that hold the actual sway, man. I'm gonna get a little bit of that as well. Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Yeah, that's the secret councils, man. These guys of the elites, they've held them secret councils and continue to, man. These groups that they get together under one roof, go together into private private areas and discuss and chop it up on how they're gonna enact their plans, man. And a big part of their plans is inflicting destruction upon Israel, man. That's one of the core parts, because these guys are obviously the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, Israelites according to the Bible. So that evil twin, man, Esau, the so-called white man, he's basically doing everything in his power to try and get back that blessing that he lost. So it says who whet their workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. They know that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Yeah, shooting in secret at perfect, which is Jake. Shooting at Jake and bringing down bringing destruction, and not, fucking Jake over and keeping him in that destroyed state. So why? Because as far as for Esau to get his, requires Jake to be taken down, man. He has to take off the prophecy from before the kids were born. Genesis 25, I believe it is, what the prophecy is. Genesis 25. It was that what do you call it? The older served the younger, and Esau was the firstborn, so he was yoked from then. And it's like, what, for him to take that yoke off, he has to basically use his sword, use his power, that sword, that blessing of destruction, the gun, or the missile, the airplane, these tools. That's how Esau gets his. But as such, for him doing that, it's only gonna run for a season. Because why? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it, the follow-up. So it will run for a bit, then oh boy, it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. But yeah, was I gonna get something else? Yeah, nah, I'll leave it there. But yeah, the crypto shekel. Obviously, the state of Israel pushing it out. These guys are broadcasting, pushing out heavy that vibrate all those vibrations in New World Order, man. That's what's going down from there. Same thing as what you got over here in the UK. Same thing in the States, man. Esau's pushing out his agenda. All as one, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. I say all praise to Yahweh, Hashem Yashai, Ba'Hashem, Rakal Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone of the royal well, and shalom to the brothers and sisters considering truth. Shalom.